This is the new WH80 from Nuphy, and it's a pretty crazy keyboard, especially if you're into competitive gaming. It's a technically mechanical keyboard, technically not necessarily mechanical, because it uses magnetic Hall effect switches, and it even has an 8K polling rate through wired or wireless connections, so if you really want to go all out and pay to give yourself a little bit of an advantage in competitive games, this might be one to look at. It has been a long time since I have covered a keyboard on this channel. If you've been following me for my gaming handheld reviews, you may not know that this channel used to be very keyboard centric. Now I'm not going back to keyboards, but I wouldn't have accepted this one if it wasn't a very special one that I thought would be very interesting for a lot of you. Full disclosure, this was sent out to me by Nuphy. This is a prototype, so there may be some things that I mentioned in this video that may be a bit different in the final production version. And even though this was sent to me for a review, that does not affect my opinions or anything I described in this video. This is not sponsored. They did not give me any money to review this thing. They just sent me the unit for free. Again, it is a prototype, and I will have an affiliate link in the description where if you do decide to purchase this, I do get a little bit of money back from that. It's got 83 keys, it's gasket mounted, it's got plate mounted stabilizers, and the plate itself seems to be aluminum. It's got RGB lighting all along the keys, but it also has this nice looking RGB strip on the bottom. By default, mine has this pink color that goes left to right, and I think it looks really cool. I do like when you have caps lock on, it turns to this solid blue, so that way you always know that you've got caps lock on. The edges have this sharp, angular, almost Cybertruck looking design. I wouldn't normally be a huge fan of this, but honestly I think it works for this board. You've also got this ridged plate screwed along the back near the USB-C port, which I think looks pretty slick as well. And the bottom you kind of have this industrial, almost kind of futuristic looking design. Kind of looks like something you'd see in like Star Wars or something. You got your function row on the top, arrow keys on the corner, as well as 2 columns of keys above that, making this a little bit more than a 75%, but not quite an 80%. It's all semantics, it doesn't really matter, but it is a pretty cool layout. What's really cool about this layout is in the upper right corner. You've got 2 different toggle switches and an encoder knob which can do various functions. The left switch is where you toggle between wired, Bluetooth, and 2.4 GHz wireless, and the right switch is where you can toggle between up to 3 profiles. And this is just a really nice looking keyboard. You've got your options between the Nova White and the Nebula Black, which I have here, and I think I much prefer the Nebula Black. This does start at $249.99, but you've got some different upgrades you can add on as well. Mine came with this keycap set out of the box, but Nuphy also sent me their Dots keycap set, which is made for the WH80, and I'm going to show you how that looks a little bit later. This was a fully built keyboard. There's no custom building here that you need to do. This is ready to go out of the box. Inside the box, you've got this very nice, very sturdy carrying case, the kind which you would normally get with like a high-end custom keyboard. And inside of that, you of course have the WH80. You've got a USB-C to USB-C cable, a USB-C to USB-A adapter, 2 extra toggle switches in case you want to swap out for the pink option here, 1 keycap and switch puller, a quick start guide. The website says this is going to come with extra keycaps. Mine did not include the keycaps, but this is a prototype. But last and probably most importantly, other than the keyboard, is this big old chunky 2.4 GHz dongle. This big old dongle is what's going to give you the 8K polling rate, and that's through the wireless dongle or a wired connection. Through Bluetooth, you are limited to 125 Hz, but that's also going to get you improved battery life. So if you're ever not using this thing for gaming and you want to extend the battery life between charges, you can always just connect to Bluetooth. The switches are magnetic Jade Dragon N switches. They're linear with an actuation range between 0.1 to 3.2 millimeters. And that brings us to one of the coolest features about this keyboard is you can program the actuation range of these switches. You've got these profiles in the upper right corner, M1, M2, and M3. By default, M1 is your gaming mode, and those definitely actuate much sooner than you would on M2 or M3. Each one of these can be reprogrammed and customized to your liking, so if you want to have different gaming-centric profiles, you can totally customize each of those to your liking, all of which using Nuphy's web-based program. You don't have to download an app or anything. It's all web-based, and everything saves right onto the keyboard. You can adjust the RGB lighting to your liking using the function key and the arrow keys. Function and left will change the backlight effect. Function and right will change the backlight colors. Function with up and down will adjust the brightness, and then function with the greater than, less than symbols here will adjust the backlight speed. Now this is only the second time I've had a keyboard with magnetic switches, and I gotta say I much prefer how they sound on this one. And that is all out of the box. I didn't have to do anything. The switches are pre-lubed, the stabilizers are extremely lubed. I mean, just look at how gummed up these things are. And I like how they sound, but boy, these things are really goopy. Now, I'm no professional gamer, I'm not a competitive gamer or anything like that, so I don't know if I really feel the difference with the 8K polling rate. I definitely feel the difference with the programmable actuation force. Sometimes I forget to switch out of gaming mode and I start typing and accidentally hitting keys because my actuation force is set so low. And if you've never used speed style switches with a low actuation force like that, that alone is definitely going to be noticeable the first time you're using it. And testing out the 8K polling rate is really something that takes some expensive equipment that I do not have, so I'm just going to take Nuphy's word for it. I like that the dongle has a little rubber foot on the bottom so it won't skid around on your desk. It'll just stay put where you want it without having to use adhesive or anything like that. So I'm a big fan of that. And at the end of the day, maybe an 8K polling rate is all marketing fluff that people just like to throw on their gaming keyboards to attract sales. Honestly though, either way, even if you stripped away the 8K polling rate and just left it at 1000, the way that this keyboard sounds, the way that this keyboard looks, I still think this is a great keyboard for the price. I know when it comes to competitive gaming, a lot of people these days like to have a smaller keyboard like 60%, but if that's not you and you want a larger keyboard with more keys that you can do more functions with, but still have that little bit of competitive edge, or you just want the programmable magnetic switches for whatever other reason, I mean, this is a great option. These keycaps that are included out of the box are very nice cherry profile keycaps. They are pretty thick, not the thickest I've ever used, but they are nice double shot keycaps. And then they sent me over these dots keycaps, which are transparent black to match the black color of the keyboard. You got this sort of pixel art style dot font on each of these, and I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan. I gotta say, with the RGB lighting on, it also makes it a bit harder to see when you're typing. I find that if you turn the brightness of the lighting down almost to like the last click or second to last click, it is a lot easier to see the characters on the keys. If you're a touch typer, you don't have to worry about that, but if you're somebody like myself who does have to glance down every so often, it is nice to be able to see what you're doing. Now, real quick, here are a couple of sound tests using the stock keycaps and then the dots keycaps. I feel like these stock keycaps have a little bit more of a deeper, sort of more bassy sound compared to the dots keycaps. Both of them sound good. They both sound very similar. And honestly, through the audio of YouTube and whatnot, you may not even be able to hear a difference. In person, I definitely hear the difference, and I just prefer the look, feeling, typing experience, and sound of the stock keycaps. So I'm sticking with those personally. And the nice thing is this is all powered by an 8000 milliamp hour battery. So even with the polling rate and the battery and all that, you're gonna get lots and lots of battery life. So with a striking futuristic metallic design, $250 is nothing to sneeze at, especially nowadays. But for what you're getting here, great stock keycaps, great switches with programmable actuation force and all of that, the 8K polling rate, whether you use it or not, a very nice, very sturdy carrying case included out of the box with no extra purchase required. If you compare it to other similar keyboards within this price range, I mean, if you're looking at Razer or SteelSeries or Logitech, a lot of their higher end gaming keyboards these days are around the same price as this one. So really, I prefer the sound and the look and everything of this keyboard over anything from Razer or SteelSeries nowadays. And that is the WH80. What do you guys think about it? Do you think it's overkill? Do you think it's all buzzwords and marketing fluff? Do you like how it sounds? Do you like how it looks? Are there any other keyboards comparable to this one that you prefer? Let me know what you think in the comments. And yeah, that is going to do it for this video. I'm going to wrap things up and get this all nice and tightly packaged up in a little bow so that I can upload it, which, I mean, if you're hearing me say this, I've already done so. So it's weird. Time is weird. Okay, that's going to do it for me. I've got some stuff coming out. I got a Switch 2 recently, by the way, so I'm going to start making some content about the Switch 2 and Switch 2 accessories. And then we'll see what comes up with 2026, because I don't know how many other videos I'm going to be doing between now and the end of the year. So thank you for sticking around so far, if you have, and we look forward to seeing what happens in the future.